back to another episode of Serco Speaks. This is episode 2 of, I have Lara Donadio with me. How you doing, Lara?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing well. Serco Speaks is a mini-series that I personally started with a good friend of mine, Matt Silva. Make sure you check out the last episode. The link to that is right here. But Serco Speaks is more than just a basic little podcast talk. Serco Speaks is a mini-series that I have hosted in the last couple weeks. And I am choosing random subscribers of mine that follow me on both my Instagram and my YouTube channel that come on here and talk about some serious real life issues. And I truly believe that everybody has a story, everybody has struggled, and everybody has gone through some rough times. And my friend Lara, she's here to open up and share your story with us. See now, Lara, when I first found out about your story, I was very intrigued because I've never heard somebody who has gone through such a tragic series of events.
Yeah.
And I just can't believe that you were able to push forward from that, because everybody has either now they're going through a very hard time or they have been able to push things down emotionally. They don't know how to cope with these things. So in this episode, I really appreciate how brave you are for coming on and sharing your story with us. So, introduce yourself. Say a few things about you.
What am I supposed to say?
Just it all started with a very tragic accident.
Okay. So it was the third day in 9th grade. I
Okay.
believe. So freshly starting high school.
Mhm.
I was walking to high school at the time.
Mhm.
The corner where it happened was right around the block from my house. So every day, my parents and I would drive by it.
But they don't know exactly what happened on the corner.
Right. Well, I'm gonna get there.
Okay.
I'm gonna-
Take your time.
I'm just saying. So every day, we drive by it and we have to relive it
Mhm.
every day. So it was the third day of high school.
Mhm.
I was walking, and it's a 4-way stop sign. So you stop first, you go, then you go, not like that. So the lady that was letting me go,
Mhm.
obviously she was letting me go because pedestrians cross. So she was letting me go, and the person that was behind her, drove around her car, went on the curb, and I was literally this close to the curb on the opposite side of the stop sign.
Gotcha.
And so he drove on the curb, went through the stop sign, went around the lady, and hit me. And then didn't realize that he hit me, so backed up over me again, and then ran over me again.
So you
3
got
times.
ran over how many times?
I believe it was 3 times. 'Cause
Okay.
It was initial, and then back up, and then again. Yeah.
What kind of car was it that actually hit you?
It was a Lexus. I don't know what kind of
SUV?
Lexus. No. But I know it was Lexus. I don't know what kind of car exactly.
That's terrible.
Yeah.
Really? How old were you when
I
this
was
accident
I was
happened?
14. I was freshly 14.
Early in high school?
Yeah, it was 2 weeks after my birthday.
So, were you out of school? How did you have to take some time off? Did you get
so
at home?
after that, obviously, I flatlined 3 times.
Mm.
So I technically died 3 times.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Rushed to the trauma center that's around the block from my house. Was there for a while, got me stable, moved me to College Children's Hospital in New Hyde Park, I believe it is, in Queens, somewhere over there. I was there for about a month, I would say.
I'm sorry to cut you off. Could you just make sure you really project your voice just a little more?
Oh, yeah.
Just bring it up,
Yeah.
because it's going to be hard for them to hear you. Just a little bit louder.
I was in a
You're
coma
ready.
for 2 weeks, two and a half.
You were in a coma for 2 weeks.
2.5, I think.
Once the accident happened.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
medically induced, obviously. And then I was at Cohen's Hospital for a month-ish. And then I went to a rehab center in New Jersey that specialized in spine injuries. And I was there from October to January.
Now, how long did it take for you to fully be able to walk again?
So I broke a lot of bones, obviously. Anything from my knee down wasn't broken, but everything else is pretty much broken. So I
What did they say about your spine exactly?
So it was severed.
Okay.
It shifted. So that's why I kept flatlining, because it was shifted and they couldn't figure it out.
Gotcha.
So that I have rods and screws and plates, in my back. Plates and screws in my pelvis, right side of my pelvis, my shoulder, back of my neck, under my eye actually too, like right here in the middle of the
I never noticed that.
Yeah, you can't see it. And
So
I wasn't allowed to walk for a while because my pelvis had to fully heal.
now, did they give you a cane? Were you in a
I had a
walker?
wheelchair for a while. I had a couple of different wheelchairs for a while.
So you ended up in a wheelchair, right?
Right. For a while. Because I wasn't allowed to walk.
Yes.
They didn't know if I was going to walk at all.
Sorry, I just have to answer this real quick.
No, it's
Go
okay.
on.
They didn't know if I was able to walk at all. They didn't know anything. And so, I wasn't supposed to, raise my arms. I wasn't supposed to, do basic life activities
Right.
that you don't think twice about that you do.
Wow.
So
how did, if you don't mind me
Go
asking,
ahead. No,
how did this affect your social life?
my social life. So my friends were very supportive during the time. They were very, they would come visit me, text me things and let me know what's going on at school and, things like that. I was actually able to do school in rehab, actually. I was able to get my work, so I caught up and I graduated on time.
Awesome. You did graduate on time?
I did graduate on time, yes, I did.
Awesome.
Thank you. So they would give me little updates about, what was going on at school and, all the things that we were going to do when I came home, things like that. I actually came home, I made sure that I came home before my dad's birthday. I came home 2 days before my dad's birthday. So it was a very...
You are close with your father?
Yeah, so it was a very big celebration. So, there was one girl...
At school... Oh, you were saying? At school,
Yeah.
there apparently there was this girl
Yeah.
that was kind of twisted the whole story from what I know.
She twisted the story.
So tell them about that.
It was a girl I used to be friends with before, and right before the accident, we kind of cut off a little. We kind of just drifted.
Anyway,
so
there was this girl.
Yeah, there was this one
that
girl.
twisted the whole story of what actually happened.
She twisted the whole story. One of my friends, I told my friends, I was like, listen, because I never wanted anything about the accident that wasn't true to get out, because I didn't want to seem that way, and I didn't want to draw more attention than it already had.
Okay, to clarify for the viewers that are watching, you had this accident.
Right.
It totally wrecked your life.
Right.
You were not able to walk.
Yep.
And it was hard for you to have much of a social life.
Right.
You weren't able to really walk. You couldn't drive anywhere.
Right.
You couldn't do any clubs. You couldn't do any sports. You had schooling basically from a very secluded area.
Right.
It totally turned your life around.
Yeah.
That must have been very traumatic, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And there was this girl, to clarify, that totally twisted the story. I mean, you wanted it to be more low key, more private.
Right.
And she does what now?
She told everybody at school that I did it for attention and that I did it on purpose.
Wow.
And I found that out and I started crying. I was like, there's no way that she just said that.
And how did that make you
used to be
feel
my
when she
friend.
went around to anybody?
I was really pissed. I was really upset. I was more, I think, hurt and upset because I just couldn't believe that somebody would have the audacity to do that.
Right.
And make it seem
wrong.
like it is. It's absolutely wrong.
It's dirty.
And to make it seem like, because now what is she putting into people's heads? Because now everybody is going to think that I'm some crazy bitch.
It's always the people that you don't expect.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Even more.
I mean, socially it was hard, definitely. I mean, I met one of my best friends in rehab. We were roommates and we're best friends, still to this day. We talk every day. So we became very close, so I did gain her from that.
So you did have somebody in your life that you met in rehab
I did.
that you were able to cope through this
I did.
tragic time.
Yeah, I did.
that's
She
great.
actually had a form of chronic pain, and it's actually ironic because that's what I have now. So.
Now, did they put you on any meds for any of this type of pain?
I was on medication for a while. I had a pretty high pain dose of it was a pump. So when you're in pain, you pump it.
Right.
So it's controlled, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
I had that for a while. I was taking all different types of medications. You name it, I probably took it. I mean, it was crazy. And then after all this happened a year later, I had back surgery again.
So you had two surgeries.
So I had back surgery twice. So that was rough.
Now, do you feel like you're going to need any other surgeries to fully perfect your back? Because you said you got hit 3 times.
Right. For my back, I don't
can't even
think
imagine
so.
getting hit once.
Yeah. I don't think so. I mean, my back is the way it is. I found out that I needed a second back surgery because I was bending down to like make the bed, and it was like stabbing, shooting pain right in my lower back. So that's how I couldn't get up. So I knew I had a. My discs were.
You love my dog, don't
I know,
you?
I love her. My discs and my back were rubbing on each other. So every single time I would bend down, it would feel like I was stabbing, shooting pain. I mean, I had 9 broken ribs.
You had 9 broken ribs.
So there's 12 ribs, and 9 of them were broken.
Wow.
So, at the time, because everything was so severe, they had to pick and choose, what was more important. So, the ribs weren't really that important because they usually fuse on their own to fuse back together. So, my ribs have fused, but they're still broken. They're still cracked. So, I get a lot of rib pain from that. I mean, I'll always have chronic pain for the rest of my life, so. I mean, I've definitely gained a high pain tolerance from this. Like, I don't ever take, like, Tylenol or Advil or anything. I tough it out, because the thing was, when I was 14, so I was little. So I was young, so I was just afraid.
And you were, 20 now? And this is still affecting you?
Yeah.
To a degree?
To a degree, yeah.
Okay.
I was 14, and, here you always hear in school, like, oh, don't get addicted to drugs, and, don't do that, don't do this. So for me, taking all these hardcore drugs, I never wanted to be reliant on them, and I never wanted to become, like, it's so stupid, but, like, I never wanted to become, like, a drug addict, so that's why I never took
Is that what the
anything.
kids called you?
No, nobody ever told me that, but it was just a mental thing, I guess.
And this was, would you say it was, like, an internal battle?
It definitely was. I definitely cried a lot of tears.
Oh, damn.
A lot. I cried almost every day. Because I was so frustrated that I couldn't, be there with my friends and, experience high school.
You felt alone?
Yeah, I definitely felt alone.
I'm so sorry.
I mean, that wasn't the case, obviously, but I definitely felt alone. I just felt like, and I was mad at my body that I wasn't able to do things that, like, a normal 14-year-old girl could do. Like, I couldn't go to the bathroom.
So what do you feel like was holding you back the most?
It was just the healing process. That's what it is. The body.
And you just prayed every night to try to speed it up.
Yeah, it was a lot of praying. It was a lot of hope, a lot of faith. I mean, you always hear everything happens for a reason, and I truly believe that everything happens for a reason. Because,
So what worse, besides, like, having a friend to really talk with you, did you go through any sort of, like, therapy, like, outside of, like, because it's always nice to, like, spill the tea and, like, bounce back and forth with your friends about something.
Right.
But what was in the moment I'm talking about? Did you have anything any kind of outside source, outside of school, that was confidential so you could work through it?
Yes, at the rehab center they had therapists there.
Okay.
So they would always come and check in.
Okay.
They would always come and check in.
Mm-hmm.
Like that because they knew it was such a traumatic thing. And, for somebody who's, freshly 14, dealing with something like that, it's insane. It's literally insane. Like, it's the unimaginable.
You said you were hit 3 times?
Yes, 3 times. Like, I wasn't supposed to walk again. I wasn't supposed to do anything. Like, raise my arms past a certain point. Like, they didn't even know if I was going to make it.
Eventually, when did you finally get back into school? Because you were hit at 14, but you graduated on time.
Yeah, so did homeschool for a while. Because I was still going to physical therapy every day. So I did homeschool for a while after I came home. I believe I went back in April of freshman year.
Okay.
April, but I only went for like a class or 2. And then I slowly built myself back up to gain the stamina to sit there. And, because, like, you're homeschool, you're at home, like, we could do it on the couch, or I could do it if I have to lay down, or, like that. So, it's different.
What grade was it that you were fully, like, in class?
It was 10th grade.
10th grade.
This following September.
So about, like, a year and a half or so.
Yeah, the following
of just
September.
Being totally isolated outside of, like, your whole social circle. I'm only saying it because I'm just trying to clarify what actually happened.
Absolutely, yeah.
It is very brave of you being able to come on and really share your story with people. It's very inspiring how you're able to work forward from that.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
So when you were finally back in school,
yeah,
and you found out that this girl was twisting everything, when did you find out? How did you react to it? Tell me.
I found out, one of my best friends told me, I don't remember exactly what it was, she told me, and I was like, wow, that's like really shitty of her to do that. So, going back to school, I had a lot of second thoughts. Like, do I really want to go there and, like, face everybody in the school? Because everybody...
You knew you had to.
Everybody knew about it.
It was rough.
Everybody knew about it. Everybody in the whole town knew about it. People from other towns knew about it. Like, it was a crazy, crazy story. So, even going to the grocery store and, like, being recognized, like, it was...
You felt the eyes on you.
I constantly
Nobody
felt
likes the thought of being, like, people staring at me.
Right, even at school, like when I would go back to school, I had a maid for a while because I couldn't carry my own bag. So,
Really?
so that was rough too, because I felt like I didn't have the freedom to do what I wanted to do and move on and just like go with my friends and like.
Do you miss the life before the accident, or are you happy with what you're working with now?
I guess I do miss a little because of course there's like certain things that I can't do.
Okay.
Like physically, so I do miss that. But I'm very grateful for my life now
Right.
and what I have. And
You could have died.
so going back to school, it felt like everybody was constantly looking at me, constantly whispering, constantly like, oh, we don't want to talk to her, like, she's a freak that got hit by the car, like, who wants to talk to her? So it constantly
Damn.
felt like that
Freak who got hit by the car is crazy.
because the kids in my grade were brutal. They were brutal. Like,
High school's tough.
Yeah, we had one
But
of the toughest
thank God
grades.
you worked through it.
Yeah, and then, thankfully there was a chronic status that they had with attendance, so if I missed school, it didn't count, because it was like a chronic status.
What do you mean?
So like if I didn't feel good one day, they would just put it under the chronic status. So
And
then
that would count as a present?
as excused.
As an excuse.
So I never DLT'd, which was like a thing, like if you got like 15 absences, like, okay, let you fill up the class. So obviously there were a lot of times where I had to be out, and like, when I had back surgery again the following year, I had to be out a lot.
So those days where you're out, did they send anybody from the school to actually
Um,
educate you?
No, because it was only for like a day or two.
Okay.
When I had my second back surgery, they did. I did homeschooling for a little bit, but everything
Gotcha.
was online, so
Gotcha.
I was able to catch up, or I would just go to extra help and just catch up.
Because that was when around COVID hit, right? Or was it the year
It
after?
was the year after.
Year
so
after.
It kind of
So kids were back in school, I remember. This was like
Yeah,
2021.
right.
So we were like half in, half out, masks
Half in,
on.
half
It
out.
still sucks.
Yeah, it's still.
So you
sucks.
felt like you kind of had some shield with the mask and everything.
right,
But
Yeah,
you weren't like
right.
fully in the experience. Okay,
Yeah,
I got
anyway,
you. I got you.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I definitely like college a lot better than high school. I'll say that.
Oh yeah, what are you doing now? Where do you go?
I go to Molloy College for pre-med.
You go to Molloy for pre-med.
Yeah, for pre-med. So.
Are you trying to pursue
Either.
nursing?
Hopefully
some
my
sort of-
doctorate. Hopefully either emergency medicine or general surgery, one or the other. I'm in love with both, so we'll see where that goes.
You'll see where that goes.
Yeah.
All right. Is there anything else that you left out that you feel like really affected your life?
I mean, I think it was just the daily activities. Not being able to do, like, for example, like, you know how girls, like, always love their handwriting?
Yes.
And they're like, like, oh my god, like, my handwriting's the best or whatever. For me, because my hand was crushed, my dominant hand was crushed.
Just totally destroyed.
My tendons were crushed. I mean,
Yeah.
I wasn't able to write for a while. So and that made me upset because I felt like I had to rely, my one constant thing was I never wanted to rely on other people to do things for me because I hate that.
Mhm.
Like, I love being independent. I love doing my own thing.
And it definitely made you upset, kind of having to be dependent on other people.
Right. It was a struggle. It was very hard.
I'm very sorry.
Thank you. So, getting back to handwriting, so when I was in rehab, I had my parents buy me, like, the handwriting books that, like, you first learn how to handwrite with.
So you couldn't walk,
And-
you couldn't talk.
No,
you
I could talk.
Did you get speech therapy?
Yes, I did.
So you had speech therapy, you were struggling to walk, you were in a wheelchair, you had girls talking behind your back, and you were not able to write correctly?
Yeah. Yeah, so I had my parents get me
That's
handwriting.
tragic.
Yeah, I had my parents get me handwriting books, so I would practice in them. It sounds so silly, but
No.
I practiced in
Absolutely.
them, and my handwriting is, I would say it's immaculate. I mean,
So
it's
when you
great.
say that other girls they really care about their handwriting, like, is there like certain things that you say girls really like care about that is unique to them? Because I'm genuine, like, aside from the tragedy, like, I'm
Right.
genuinely asking.
Right. I think girls definitely care about their unique features that they have for themselves.
What do you mean?
Like, or I have the best hair, or my handwriting's the best, or, stupid things.
Now, do you feel like girls are very competitive with one each other?
Girls are very competitive with each other. Everything is always a constant competition. Like, my boyfriend's better than yours, or, I have a nicer car than you, or, stupid shit. It's ridiculous.
Now,
It shouldn't be like that.
who do you feel like, and this is where I'm going to transition from your accident to finally take the pressure off of you.
Okay.
Damn, you're good. Everybody,
I'm good.
She's okay now.
I'm good.
She's all right.
I'm good.
So, let me ask you this: with men versus women nowadays, do you feel, truthfully, do you truly believe that women are more dramatic than men in terms of competition?
I think it depends on the situation.
Okay.
I think it solely depends on the situation.
Give me an example.
Oh, God. People are just... Girls are constantly dramatic, so be dramatic too. I think in certain instances, I think it just depends.
We're good? Thank you, Matthew.
Thank you, Matthew.
Shout out Maddie from the last episode. No, dude, say what's up. Get in there.
Yeah.
Get in there.
What? Oh, Fluffy, come on. What's up? Yeah, you fucking see me.
Alright, and we're back. So, when you were... I'm going to relate this back to your
Go
accident.
ahead.
Do you feel when, in the moment, when you had to have the aid, and you're struggling to write, this and that,
Right.
did you feel like you were so below them? Because that's the vibe I'm getting.
I definitely felt like I was below everybody else and I was behind everybody else. I never really felt like that. I felt like I was
And
very
now, what,
behind.
6 years later, you're finally
It's 5.
up to speed.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I still have chronic pain, so, like walking long distances, or, I'll get just, like, random pains, like shooting, especially in my ribs and my wrist. Like, I'll get pains that shoot down my wrist if I write for too long, if I type for too long. Definitely with my ribs, it's like a constant, well, sometimes constant, everything comes
Do you
and
need a
goes.
drink? You could grab some.
Yeah.
I hear you smacking your lips together
I'm
as
fine,
you're trying
I
to tell your
just-
story.
No, I'm fine.
It's all good.
What was this? So, behind everybody else because, I'm in all this pain and, nobody else really is that I knew of. Nobody else really understood what it was like. So that's why when I met my best friend, who was my roommate at the time, she understood. And she told me how to cope with it and how to do it and how to make it better. And, so she helped me a lot.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. In today's society,
Yes.
do you believe that girls or guys cause more drama? Because in that
Oh,
moment
God.
when they were talking smack about you behind your back, you felt very oppressed.
Right.
However, there are men that are constant competition with each other all day
Absolutely.
long. So who do you think really stirs the pot?
Stirs the pot. I feel like it's always the stereotypical thing to say that girls do it more. But,
Just be honest. What do you believe?
guys also do it too.
Okay.
I think girls just naturally know how to do it, but I think that guys have the potential to stir the tea and stir up some shit. And, that's all I'm saying.
Gotcha. Now, for those of the people watching that don't know like this dynamic right here, and how I don't know Matt, how I don't know Jack, or all of our other friends, why don't you tell them how we actually, not how we met, but the last scenario of what,
Okay.
because I'm doing this YouTube shit, I'm working multiple jobs, and I'm getting an education, but her and a bunch of her girlfriends had something else in mind. Why don't you talk about that?
Yeah, we did. Alright, so we're coming to Steve's house for a party. He's throwing a party. We were bringing alcohol.
Matt, we're good?
Yeah.
Steve was like, bring your own booze, bring what you want to drink. So we stop, we get alcohol, drink in the car a little. And, you were telling us, listen, like, we gotta sneak the alcohol into the house. I want
Surprised
to
surprised it's still running. The battery is fully charged. These batteries are kick ass. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
you know, you were like, I don't want to get caught with this shit. You know, I'm going to get thrown out. So you were so we called you. We were like, Steve, like, we're 5 minutes out. Like, what are we going to do? Like, how are we going to sneak this in? And you were like, just relax. You were like, you got this. You were like, it's going to be quick and easy. You were like, it's just going to flow. And you were just so calming and just soothing and just...
Me.
Just Steve. You were just Steve. So a few of my friends and I, we get here, we pull up, and we go, Steve, like, we gotta tell you something.
Right.
And you were like, what's up? What's the matter? You're like, what's wrong? And we were like, no. We're like, no, nothing's wrong. We're like, we're good. We were like, we think you should have a different career. Yeah.
You and your 2-3 other girlfriends?
Yes.
That all came at the same time.
Yes.
To my house.
Yep.
For this party.
Yep.
They were all in agreement
Yep.
that I should do what?
We said that you should become a doula.
As in, like, delivering
children.
women's babies.
Yeah.
As in giving birth.
Right. I'll
See,
never forget
and
that.
at the time, I didn't know what this was.
Hold on, I'll never forget that. Steve was like, I don't mean to interrupt you, but like, what's doula? And we were like, you know, Steve, like, they help women give birth. And I kid you not, Steve takes like 6 feet steps back and goes, which one of you is pregnant right now? And we go, no, Steve, nobody's pregnant. We just think you should do it. You know, so it's a running joke. It's our running inside joke. It's funny and
Throughout the girls in the group.
yeah, it's a running joke. We think you should do it. Probably not going to do it.
If I were to
but I
start
think you should
delivering
do
babies, where do you feel like I should start?
it.
Is it just my character that gives it away?
It's just your character, because your voice was just so, like, calming and soothing that we were just like, yo, Steve, like, you should be a doula. Like, we said it in the car. I put the phone on mute, and I go,
Okay.
is he trying to help me, like, deliver a kid right now?
Yeah.
So we started dying laughing, and we were like, yo, we gotta tell Steve when we get there. So we pull up, and we pulled you aside, and we were like, Steve, like...
Okay, but you see where I'm coming from about that. Like, that's a little crazy.
It is a little far-fetched. It definitely is far-fetched, but we were also a little tipsy.
So what's gonna happen if you see me in a few years actually start popping babies out left and right from these women? Not me putting the babies in them.
Oh, okay, all right.
but helping them deliver these babies out of them.
I would be very proud of you. I think that's a big thing to do. It's a very big step. It's a very big thing to do. Just working.
I don't think they're super successful though.
Not
Not knocking doulas, but...
And we're back!
Anyway.
This video is sponsored by Betty Crocker. Matthew, if you will. Our special guest here today has baked us some brownies.
I did.
If my assistant can stand up, please, and feature today's fine craftery.
Fine craftery.
I'll wait. See, tonight's glaze is a fudge base with a dark chocolate chip. Yes, we'll each try one. Lara,
I'm good, I don't want one.
are you sure?
Yeah, I'm good right
You
now.
made them.
I know, I'm good right
Don't knock your own brownies.
now. Good.
Thank you, Lara.
You're welcome.
Let's all thank Lara, everybody. Thank you, Matthew. $400 in my shop. Come on.
Is it a military crawl?
Alright. Where were we? Oh,
Moving
yes.
on.
Delivering your child.
Yep.
So, is it a boy or a girl?
What are you talking
You got
about?
knocked up recently, correct?
No, that's not true.
You did not get pregnant?
No.
Oh. Who mentioned that?
No. Wasn't me.
Yo. These brownies are creamy as hell.
Thank you. Italian trick.
I need a girl who bakes.
Italian trick.
You give too much attitude. I could see you in the kitchen and being like, why'd you leave the stove on? I'd be like, because I was answering the fucking calls. Or some shit. Not real talk. Yo, can you get me a towel? My hands are all black and shit. No racial.
Don't get canceled, Steve.
I'm just gonna give it a shot.
Oh, she's chasing your ass.
Every episode.
Thank you, Your Highness.
Every episode of Serco Speaks, you will be featured with Fluffy.
and your drink of choice. This episode is featured with Lara Donadio spilling the tea because that's what girls do. Isn't the drama just great, Lara?
Oh my god, it's fucking fantastic. I love the drama.
So, who out of your girlfriends is having their first child?
Nobody!
What are you talking about?
It's a theoretical thought.
It's a theoretical situation.
Your favorite word, theoretically.
Theoretically. And hypothetically. And let's just say.
Right.
So, let's just say you were knocked up tomorrow at work.
In a pizzeria?
What would you do? Because nowadays,
Back the fuck up. In a pizzeria.
No. Nowadays, there are multiple girls in this situation that are not playing it safe, not wrapping it up, and not taking initiative. I say, what is up with all these teen moms? Now, what do you think about that?
I mean, it's your choice. I mean, you know what you're doing.
Yes.
You sperm meets the egg. Boom. That's it. There's no going back.
So you're saying it's just the sperm meets an egg? You know, there are certain precautions that you could take.
That's the medical standpoint of it.
Mm-hmm. Okay, but now let's not get all sciencey and have the viewers click off. Let's actually talk the real shit. Let's be mature about this.
What do you want to know, Steve?
I want to know what you know. I want to know what's going through these girls' heads because they get knocked up by this guy, and all of a sudden they wonder if they would have saw the red flag from the start. And what are your thoughts on red flags? What are yours? What are some of your boundaries? And how do you feel like women in this next generation could handle them?
That's a loaded question. I need a drink before that one. Hold on.
Red flags. Give me them. Top 3. Go.
Leave me unopened.
Leaving on open.
That's worse than being left undelivered. Like
now, we'll take it step by step. We'll take it step by step.
Okay.
What is worse, open or delivered?
Opened.
And why?
Because you saw it. So, like, say something back.
But wouldn't you see it on either app? Because, think about it. Text message, you could see the notification.
Right.
Instagram, you could always, you see what they're saying, but not the full message.
Right.
But Snapchat, you could always, I know y'all asses be half swiping. I know y'all ladies be half swiping my message. Stop acting all Hollywood. Y'all be half swiping me.
Half swiping.
Anyways, so you be half swiping, right?
Half swiping is my favorite activity.
Okay. You heard it from the women's perspective. They be half swiping, dudes. If she leaves you undelivered for 8+ hours, she is not your girl.
Oh, I saw it.
Yeah, they all saw it. They all saw it. Red flag number 2.
All right. I don't know. This is hard. This is a tough one. These are tough.
When a guy does this, let's say it gives you the ick.
Okay.
Or you see this on a first date, first hangout, first link with a guy. Bam, red flag. What is it? Go.
If you're out on a date and they make you pay half the bill.
Ooh, splitting the check.
Like, no.
No? First date.
Yeah.
So,
like,
what
no.
if... Okay. I can... Now, what are your thoughts on the take that whoever asked to go out should pay?
That's how it goes.
Okay. So, if a girl slides into my DMs and she's like, hey, I want to hang out with you, or can I link you, or whatever she comes up with.
Right.
Since she's hitting me up first, she's making the quote-unquote first move.
Yeah.
There we go.
Mm-hmm.
Should she pay?
Well, yeah, she asked you out.
Okay. See, I think it is nice for the men to take the first gesture to pay on the first date.
Right.
However, I feel like the chances of going to the next level, and you know what I mean, like hooking up and stuff.
Yep.
If they split the check or the girl pays, the chances of the guy getting some, we all know what that means, let's be real, significantly decreases. Now, what do you think about that?
I don't know. For me, I feel like...
No, you do know. Go on.
I feel like for me, it depends on who made the first move.
Okay.
I mean, if you made the first move, you clearly know what you're doing.
I clearly know what I'm doing.
You made the first initiative. You made the first move, you know.
Now, do you consider the first move to be the first text, or the first move, be like the first kiss or something?
It could be both.
Either or?
Yeah, it could be either or.
Okay. So, say if I ask the girl out, I pay.
Yep.
But she leans in to kiss me, who makes the first move?
You made the first move because you asked her out. Because you asked her out.
Because I asked her out. Okay.
She's just taking it to the next level.
She's taking it to the next level.
But you asked her out, so you made the first move.
Okay. Gotcha. Now, I discussed this on the last podcast.
Oh God, here we go.
What do you think of hookup culture nowadays? Because this is a question I want to ask on pretty much all the episodes, and it is a huge topic of conversation that I truly believe is taking over this next generation, and the thoughts of having a secure relationship and dating consistently is falling off, and going to the club and hanging out and meeting women or men in these random locations and having one-night stands is a whole thing. And hookup culture between dating apps and social media is taking over this country and nationwide and worldwide in full swing. Right. So, what are your thoughts on hookup culture?
I don't know. It depends on the person. Like, you know, if you want to hook up, then go get a hookup. But like, if you're, you know, that's why it's very hard to find a relationship in the generation that we're in, because everybody is surrounded by hookup culture. Everything is hookups. Everything is, you know, so that's why it's hard. But
it definitely is hard trying to, because I feel like we're genuinely supposed to have something secure.
Right.
And in the moment, I talked about it in the last episode, it feels nice.
Right.
But after the fact, you feel a little shitty.
You do.
Because you don't have any security there.
Right.
You're not reassured. Right. And I feel like women emotionally need that reassurance.
Yep, definitely.
So
110%.
if you, what is up with girls constantly going back to that? If they feel shitty afterwards, why do they go back to that?
That's all they know.
That's all they know.
That's all they know.
Wow.
You know, it's like, if that's all you know, then, you know, if you're going to start a relationship with a guy, then, you know, how do you know they're not going to do the same thing? That's all they know. That's all they're used to. So it's very hard for people to break out of that.
That's deep.
Yeah.
See, now, if you were to give one message to the girls that are watching,
yeah,
for what they should do next in terms of their love life, what would it be?
In terms of their love life?
And don't give me no follow your heart bullshit. Keep it real.
I'm kind of going to go off that a little, but trust your gut. Because
trust your gut.
You know what your gut tells you. You know your gut's always true. So trust your gut. Don't second guess yourself and second guess your decisions, because you know what's best for you. So trust your gut. If you think that, you know, you're going to go out with this guy and he's going to be amazing and he's going to do everything, trust your gut. If you don't think, if you're getting a weird vibe from him in the beginning, then stay back.
So if the guy is giving weird vibes,
yeah,
but the girl continues to go out with him without discussing it, whose fault is that on? Because there's a lack of communication there.
That's definitely a lack of communication. That's definitely another big issue, I think. It could be both.
Either or,
because
I feel like you're not giving me your full honest opinion.
I am giving you my honest opinion. I would never lie to you. You know, you're going out, you know, for the girl's perspective, you're going out with him, you know exactly what he's doing.
Right.
So, you know, why aren't you saying anything? But also for the guy, you know exactly what you're doing. You're not, you know, don't be retarded. Like, you know, like, don't play games. Like, you know what you're doing. So, it's...
No one likes a game player.
Nobody likes a game player.
Now, what do you think about the game of chase in terms of dating? Because I believe it's like a game of chase, you know?
It definitely is.
So, what would you say is the difference between playing the game of chase and playing games?
Playing the game of chase is you're going after somebody that you genuinely want a relationship with.
Okay.
And that you genuinely believe can potentially be your significant other.
Okay.
Playing full-on games is you know exactly what you're doing and you're leading the other person on and you just don't give a shit.
So games could be, I don't give a shit about this person, I just want their attention.
Yep.
And they just want some sort of feeling of what?
Of adrenaline.
Adrenaline and
not security.
Feeling what?
Feeling like good about themselves. I think a lot of it has to do with that too.
Who do you feel like does that more, men or women?
Playing games?
Mm-hmm.
Men, 110%.
You think men play games more?
110%.
Now,
hold on.
I mean,
No.
This is not your podcast.
She has the right to her own opinion.
This is not your podcast.
Matt, she has the right to her own opinion.
This is not your podcast.
She's the guest. I'm not defending
Don't be
either
rude.
or side. I'm a man. I only see from the heterosexual relationship of men to women. However, I did ask you what you believe. And if you believe that men play games more than women...
First of all, I wasn't done with my sentence. And you're jumping down my throat, Matthew. This is not your spotlight. Second of all, men definitely play games more, but women have the potential to play games as well.
And why is that?
It's a two-way street.
It's a two-way street.
You're going to play games with me, I'm going to play games with you back. It's a two-way street.
But who do you think's better at playing the game?
Oh, I don't know.
The women or the men? If from what you're saying, if men play the game more than men, if women play the game, if you're from what you just said,
yep.
If men play the game more than women do,
yep.
But if a woman could play the game with men
twice
as hard,
yeah.
Wouldn't that mean that women play the game more than men? If they play twice as hard?
Maybe. Depends. I don't know.
Don't hold anything back.
I'm not holding shit back, Steve.
Alright. If that's what you truly believe in your heart, so be it. I'm not knocking your opinion. I know from my body language and me not looking at you the entire time, and I know I'm shaking my head and not nodding, but
you always do.
I have to disagree.
You always do that. That's
I
fine.
have to disagree.
That's fine. Everybody has the right to their own opinions.
Okay. Alright.
It's not going to make or break our friendship. I mean, everybody has the right to their own opinions.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah. And I respect your opinion.
See, the one thing that sticks out to me is the two-way street. Could you just elaborate on that?
I mean, it's a two-way street.
Because, think about it. This is hookup culture we're living in. Not 50s, 60s, 70s
no, it's
rom-com
not
dating that you see on Netflix.
It's not
at
all.
With the shows and the movies that we see nowadays...
It's a problem.
They are... Yes.
It's a problem.
And why is that?
Because
I totally agree.
Because it gives false hope.
False hope on...
Of relationships.
Boom.
And what's out there. It gives false hope. It makes you think and, makes you think like, wow, this could really happen.
Matt,
and
could
then,
you check to see if it's on?
Like, wow, this could really happen, and then, you go out with somebody.
We're good?
And then, they blow you off, or they ghost you, or whatever. So that's not what you see in the movies. So.
There's never a ghost story in the movies.
No.
Is there? And if there is, that would be really entertaining.
Absolutely.
Because right as they're about to hit the climax of the movie, they're about to either do it, or they're going to go somewhere, or get married, or whatever the hell the situation is, they just ghost them.
Right.
It's never a ghost. No. It's either they hook up with somebody else.
Oh, yep.
Or they move to a different country or something.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I agree.
It's a wild society that we live in nowadays.
It's insane. It's insane the world we live in. It's a fucked up place. It's true.
So, what do you feel like women should do nowadays? Do you feel like they should really focus on themselves and let the guy come to them, or?
Partially. I think it gives, you know your standards and you know what you want.
Men or women?
Yeah, both.
Okay.
You know your standards, you know what you want. As you get older, you mature, and you know more of what you want. Maybe it's different from what you wanted 3 years ago.
Do you feel like you've matured a lot since the accident in terms of what you want?
Yeah.
Who you want to be?
Yeah.
And what you want to achieve?
Absolutely.
Okay. Awesome.
Absolutely.
So, what are your future plans? Who do you want to be? What do you want to achieve, and what is the Lara that you see yourself in 5 years? I know it's a loaded question.
It is a loaded question.
You're the guest on the show. I have to ask.
It's a big question. Definitely medical school by that point. Hopefully picking between emergency medicine and general surgery. Seeing which path I want to go down. Hopefully having somebody to experience it with. And, have somebody there with you. Not just your friends, but, somebody else to, go through your struggles with, because it's nice to not always do things alone, even though you're not alone, you have your friends, but you know what I mean.
Right.
So.
Yeah. Very inspiring story for young women nowadays.
Thank you.
I really appreciate you coming on the show and sharing your story.
Of course.
Thank you all for watching. That about wraps it up. Lara Donadio, everybody. Thank you all for watching this episode of Serco Speaks. Make sure you follow my Instagram at steve.serco and subscribe to the channel.
and comment. Hit my DMs. Ask who I should have on the next episode. And I really appreciate y'all for joining me on this the series of Serco Speaks.